Let's build a Roadster. There you go. We're starting another project. I got a huge building. It's full of stuff. So we're going to have to build this one outside. We got to get her going out here before we can get her pulled in, and then we'll start wrapping up all the frame stuff once we get inside. What I've got to do first is I've got to get the axle. It's going to go in here. I've got to get some hubs on it and my wheels here. These are the wheels I'm going to throw on it. These are 475/16s. I'm going to throw those on there, and then we're going to see how it sets, and then we can adjust the back. We're running a 35 rear axle and spring behind on the 35 rear axle, so we've got to extend this frame and Z it to get it back here. So we're going to try to do that. Let's give it a go. This is a 35 Ford rear axle. In 32 they went to the spring behind on the location. Model A was all straight over the axle. In 32 they changed and went to the spring behind for whatever reason. I'm not sure. It may be because of ride, but we're going to run this 36 axle. We get the big Ford pattern on here, and then what we'll do is we'll convert this to juice brakes. So in order to run this axle, we're going to have to Z this frame, because I'm going to make this car is going just about as low as I can get it. We're going to have about 2 inches between the tire and the inside of the fender well. So we're going to have to Z this frame up to get it up high enough to get back to the spring mount. So I want to get it Z it up to get it up over these wishbones, which these wishbones will end up, we'll cut this drive shaft shorter to fit our transmission, and these wishbones will get a lot shorter. Either that or I've got another set of 35 wishbones that are extremely short, so I may use them on here instead. But there's a lot of work to get this all to jive, and we're going to show you how to do it. These are 716s in the back. Normally I run a 750, but with these I can get it a little bit lower and still have the fat size tire. And we got the small ones for the front, so that's going to get it lower too in the front as well. We're running full fenders, full running boards, everything, with a chop top on a 31 Model A Roadster. So we got to work on this front axle first. I had this one set out to use. It's a stock 34 axle. It's got a reverse eye spring on it, but I set that other one up because really the other one's got the drop axle. It's got the split bones, which we're going to have to do on here to get it down low. So I was like, well, there's no reason in having this one, so I'm just going to move this one out of the way. We still got to get the spring put on here, so I'm going to set that down. Whoa. And we'll get us a spring and some shackles. Alright, there's my spring. I'm hoping it doesn't have too many leaves on it. Most of this front end is going to be chrome. I've got chrome spindles, backing plates, maybe spring. This spring needs to be cleaned up, but it's got a lot of chrome leaves in it. And then chrome shackles and perch pins. And then I'll have the chrome shock mounts also on the bottom there. So, should look pretty good. If you guys don't remember, probably 3 or 4 years ago, I bought a friend of ours, a friend of mine and Mike's, had a old Chevrolet dealership in Cushing, Oklahoma. And we went over there to do some picking, and he ended up having a 31 Roadster body up in the second floor. And I ended up making a deal with him on it. So I snagged it a few years ago. Let's see here. Go. Let's go a little bit. Well, before and after, took my tap and die set and I just lubed that sucker up, slicked her off. That one, it's got a bunch of missing threads, so, and that one does too, but we didn't need very far. I just did about 3/4 of an inch, so get them put on there. I'll take that one and do it here in just a second. There you go, that one cleaned up better. Not perfect, but it'll work. Just throw these on there. I'm not going to put the chrome ones on right now. I only wanted to use these shackles and the perch pins because those are the ones I'm using. And so, honestly, we don't even need these backing plates on there. But I'm going to go ahead and secure them to these spindles. All we really need is just a hub so that we can mount up a wheel. But let's go ahead and do it anyway. It needs a good wire wheeling too. Let's just wire wheel both of those before we put them on. Alright, let's do it. Alright. Well, that one looks good. Clean as a whistle. This one looks better. Check it out. Yeah, that one looks a lot nicer. Remember, it was really rusted when I put the kingpins in there. It was a lot cleaner, so that'll make putting these backing plates on there a lot easier. Hopefully. Oh yeah, went right on there. Now I'm not putting any grease cups in here. I'm going to do an X pattern on these. Make sure I keep them even. So, as I'm looking at it, top right, bottom left. Top left, bottom right. Oh, that went on there pretty good. Just didn't stay on there. I'm going to make sure that that's turned so it doesn't hit that boss. See how that one's over there on it? Turn them so that it gets flat up against the edge of that spindle. That's why I'm holding it with that crescent there. And that allows that square-headed bolt to seat down on the backing plate itself. Alright, those are done. Those are on there. Hubs and drum time. Let's go. These two setting back, they are a little mismatch. This says 4041 and that says 4041 also. Knock all the dust. They've been sitting for a while apparently. Longer than I imagined. But they are already, the insides are already cut. So I can paint those and use those, and that's probably what I'll do if I don't find a match for either one. Now I need bearings, washer, and spindle nuts. Alright, I found all the goodies. Guess I technically wasn't prepared. Still not prepared. I was going to just shove the bearings in there, but I decided I'll go ahead and pack them. These are some used bearings, and these are all USA bearings. I don't really care for the Chinese bearings. They will get you by. They'll get you home probably, but I wouldn't trust them. We got hub seals. We'll put them on too. Those will go in the back of this hub right there after I get the inner bearing put in. Get that trash off there. There we go. Those will go in there, and that's what will seal and hold the grease in. Here on the, it'll seal on that little spot right there on that spindle. It'll go right up on there. Now, if you've never packed a bearing, I'll show you real quick. This is what you're going to do. Try to use the rest of this little cup up. You're going to put it right there in your palm. And you're going to take your bearing in the open end down there. You see the back side of that's kind of open, where all those rollers are. Now it already has a little bit of grease on it. We're just going to take that and we're going to drag it right through that. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep dragging that until it comes out of that bearing right there. So just going to keep a little bit at a time and keep forcing it up in there until we can get it to come right through those little roller bearings. We're just going to keep doing that right there and rotate a little bit until we get it all on there. You can kind of see how it's starting to squirt up in there a little bit. Alright, there's that one. Now I gotta take these off somehow. I got it on my nose. Yep, got a big glove on my nose. Oh, there we go. Moon Eye shirt to the rescue. You guys think that'll work? Let's try it. Oh, look at there. Yeah, that worked. Oh man. Now we need lug nuts. Forgot about that. Lug nuts are half 20 and 13/16 is the size of them. Get all those lubed up good. That stuff stinks. Woo. There we go. Those are on. Those are on now. Go to the other ones. I'm running 16x4s in the front. That's what these are. They're the kind of narrow ones. The V860, they made a 3.5-inch version of this wheel. In 40, it was an option. I'm just running the old regular 4-inch ones. The back, I'm running a 16x5, which is a truck, optional truck wheel. And they're getting kind of hard to find. can let that sucker down. Back up there. Now these wishbones are going to end up attaching up here. So we'll have to get the angle set here and we can put our brackets in. And I have the brackets. Matter of fact, I might go ahead and just put them up there just to secure these bones from being so sloppy. And those things are tiny. Yeah, but we had to have that so we could figure out the back. So, yeah, they work. These are the plates I have for the wishbone mounts. You can see they have a tapered bung welded in them. I bought these because I didn't know how much I needed. Most of the guys will bolt these right to the frame rail just like that, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm going to end up cutting them off and putting them down here. Maybe putting a little shape to them, a little angle like that or so, just to get them to a clean mount. That'll work great. Normally I would have liked to have just used an unsplit wishbone. I like the look of an unsplit wishbone. I think it just looks a lot cleaner than attaching these, and you don't have to figure out your angles or anything. I like an unsplit wishbone. It's just a lot cleaner setup to me. That's my personal opinion, because I like them. I like them kind of factory almost like, and then they're really low. Except for the Tom Sellers coupe, that one just went back to stock. That's pretty much a stock chassis, the way I built that one. There you go, guys. We got the front end mocked up, which is great. We needed that. Now we can set the frame level and adjust the rear for the Z. The next thing we'll be doing will be cutting rectangular tubing to make a Z for the back, and we've got a mount. Let me show you the mount. Here's the mount I drew up. It's going to have the rear cross member is going to be a 1 7/8 tube cross member to get that low. I drew this up and then sent it off and had it cut out. I think it'll work perfect. So this rear, I'll end up Zing up here just ahead of the wishbone to clear the wishbone, and then it'll Z up, come back. My tube will come across through this, and that'll be my mount for the rear spring. And then we'll work off that for shock mounts and whatever. But this will eliminate the original Model A cross member, but we'll save it because we may need it for another project. There you go, guys. We almost got a roller. Man, I'm pumped. Let me show you the 31 real quick. I'm gonna have to go through here and take you in the shop here. So, yeah, I'm using my $2,000 lift for storage. This is the 31 Roadster that I bought from the dealership. It was on the second floor up there, and they've done some weird patch panels, but overall it's pretty solid body, and I've been collecting parts and putting it up inside there. So this is one of the patch panels they put on, and all they did was pop rivet it. You can see the pop rivets right there. They pop rivet. I guess they were going to skim coat that sucker, which is pretty standard for the 70s. I think this set inside the dealership on the second floor since the early 80s, since my friend was a kid. So that's just typical work that they used to do back in the 60s and 70s. When Bondo came out, it was just like, let's just sculpt. That's pretty much what they did. Everybody became a sculptor that had a car. So we're going to get it down. We've got to move this car. all the stuff around it. I got a Mercury flathead the other day. We got to move it. The Tom Sellers coupe, it's going out. We got to move the frame out there. So we'll have to get all this stuff moved out so that we can get the body down and get it on the chassis. There you go. We're almost to a full mocked up chassis. We just got to do the rear Z, and we'll video that and show you how we're going to do that on another video. This one, we're done for the day. Not forever, just for the day. So we're going to keep moving it forward. Yeah, well, I'm going to keep moving forward, and I'll keep showing you guys progress and show you how to do this stuff. If you have any questions, you want to know about a specific part, just holler at me. Just send me an email or comment down below one of the videos and just ask me, hey, what about this? And I can either contact you back or I can do a video on it. I don't mind doing that. So I'm building this car obviously from the ground up. Started with a chassis I bought, ended up with a drop axle, all the parts for the front, and I pulled a 35 rear end from a buddy of mine's car. Actually, he pulled it, but it came from his car. I'm gonna make this thing work for that Roadster. Appreciate you guys watching. Like, share, and subscribe. See you guys later. Woo!